Yo, Ashva here, and we're gonna get our kung fu on with the good, the bad, the ugly, and the future of
Wuxia X.
Or as us Westerners say it, Wuxia X. Wuxia X is independently developed by DramGameStudio, a Chinese gaming developer that has just finished up the first round of testing for their new game, Wuxia X. Built on the Unreal Engine 4, Wuxia X is a kung fu version of Pubg. Except we have swords and horses instead of dacias and M4s. Players are spawned randomly in an ancient Chinese map where they will need to make a mad dash to find weapons, gears, and skill books. With an ever-shrinking play zone, players will engage each other in an intense Wuxia Kung Fu style battle to the death until there is only one. Again, this is just the first round of testing. The game actually has 3 phases: the Battle Royale phase, then the open world sandbox phase, which will have PvE elements such as crafting, house building, and gathering, to name a few. And the third phase is the RPG aspect, and then putting it all together. I'm not 100% sure if the game will have different modes like Battle Royale mode, open world, or RPG mode, or if it's all going to be one world. My Chinese is a little rusty, so we'll just have to wait and see. Now, I had a chance to test the game this past week and could say that DramGameStudio has done a really good job putting a spin on the popular Battle Royale game Pubg with some very innovative differences, which brings me to the good. Guys, I grew up in the 70s and 80s with an old tube TV with rabbit ears and foil. We only had 2 channels, no cable or remote, and every Saturday we would watch Kung Fu Theater. And I loved it, bad dubs and all.
I don't care which is the Iron Monkey. You two will die! Kill them both now!
I'm not talking about the typical kung fu, we're talking about Wuxia. You know, crouching tiger, hidden dragon shit, running up walls, running on waters, that Kill Bill style, standing on the tips of swords and then flipping off, the good old fantasy stuff. Then to top it off, it's like Pubg, a game that I stream regularly. What else could I ask for? So as soon as I saw this game, I was hooked and excited to play. While there are similarities to Pubg, like running in your underwear, the transportation, looting dilapidated houses, of course the map and the blue circle and all, gear management, even smoke grenades, bushwookie in it, and of course running some more.
I just felt like running.
Even some of the glitches are the same. But there are some really cool differences. Just like in Pubg, there are weapons and gear all over the world, from swords to spears as well as hand-to-hand combat. But everything has basic attacks, and this is where it gets really cool. Along with weapons, health potions, and gear, there are skill books laying around that you must pick up, read, and you learn an individual kung fu move for an individual weapon or the hand-to-hand combat abilities.
No kung fu.
Show me.
Which each weapon has up to 3 abilities that you can learn, and you'll want to learn them before engaging another player in combat. But watch it, the abilities eat your stamina. Another really awesome thing they've added is assassinations. A player can be creeping on a roof or behind a wall, and if he has a dagger equipped, he can sneak up behind you and insta-kill you with an assassination ability. Now that's just badass. As for the look of the game, it's beautiful, and at times the gameplay looks like a cutscene like this. This is my actual gameplay, guys. The animations for the different weapon abilities are awesome and realistic. The landscape is breathtaking, as well as the lighting and shadows are done perfectly. But this being what they call a beta, I would say an alpha, it comes with its issues, which brings me to the bad. Of course, this being a beta/alpha, there are multiple issues. Logging in seemed to be a quest in and of itself for both Westerners as well as the mainland Chinese players. Many players reported matchmaking crashing the game, which I myself experienced. There was a lot of freezing once in-game, forcing a restart of the client, which then took us back to the login issues. There were floating trees and rocks, missing buildings, and glitching horses that kept me going in a circle, and I couldn't get off the damn horse that I aptly named Dacia. One of the biggest issues was the ping. With servers being in China, my attacks weren't registering either due to a delay in the ability firing off, or my opponent wasn't there anymore, even though I could see him. But I did notice under the server list there's an America, so it looks like we'll be getting a server, so ping shouldn't be an issue. But all these things are typical in this stage of development and will be fixed before the open beta. Now moving on to the ugly. Besides all the graphical bugs and glitches, there were some things I didn't think looked good, like lakes and water in general. It looked like big blocks of ice and you could run on top of it. Well, the first night. The second night, you could walk under it. But there were no water physics of any kind. It just looked bad and stood out, especially with how pretty the rest of the game looked. There was also the pixelated background that looked weaved together at times and seemed like a still photo rather than the world we were gaming in. Also didn't like how you mount and dismount horses. It was just weird.
Used to be so good and so bad. Sex was something I just had.
Wow, that guy's being awfully far with that donkey.
Randall, where the fuck's the chick?
Not that mounting a horse is normal. Then there was the clothing physics that sometimes were flipping all over the place. It just, I don't know, it drove me crazy. But fast forwarding into the future, I'd like to see more maps and the ability to place a waypoint on the map. We definitely need some character customization with different genders, hairstyles, beards, you know, the typical stuff that comes with these types of games. It's probably planned, but just wasn't made available for this round of testing. And I just want to make sure that they know that we need these types of things. In conclusion, I really dig the game a lot and think it's a refreshing change for a battle royale game to go all melee instead of shooter. I especially like that I can be out in the open and not have to worry about shit like this.
Where he's at, dude?
And while the game is similar to PUBG, you'll have to use different tactics to win. But at this stage of development, it's hard to tell how good the game will be, especially since we haven't tested or even seen the other parts of the game, the open world or the RPG aspects. But I can say DramGameStudio has a really good foundation for a great game, and I'm really excited to see where they go with this. Well, that's it for me, guys. If you dug the video, leave a comment, hit the like button, and subscribe to the channel. Also, head over to my Twitch channel where I stream these games Monday through Friday from 9 p.m. Eastern until I get tired. Also, check out my Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram to find out what I'm doing, what games I'm playing. Until next time, see you in game.